Today we're out shooting a new film that our friends at Fotoimpex gave us. This is the Adox CMS 20 Mark II. This is a 20 ISO panchromatic black and white film renowned for its high resolution properties. You do have to use their own specific developer to derive the best properties out of this film, so we'll get to that later on in the video. But for now, we've got this film loaded up in my Leica M3 single stroke. I'm going to be using my 50mm Summicron and my 135 tele Elmar with and without the use of a Leica orange filter. And then we're going to use a spot meter. This is a pretty technical film, so you really want to take care when metering for it. So in higher contrast, medium to high contrast scenes, we're going to be around ISO 12, and in flatter scenes around ISO 20. We'll take a look at the results after. So I just put on my Leica orange filter with the 135 tele Elmar, but this orange filter, you need to give 1.5 to 2 stops of exposure comp. I'm going to do 1.5. So now I'm spot metering at ISO 6. So don't really want to use a tripod right now. It helps that it's a nice bright sunny day and that the rain stopped here in Ventura. I'm going to basically duplicate a few of these scenes without the orange filter, because if you've never shot a film before, a specific film, shooting that whole roll with contrast filters is not the way to go. We need to see how it operates with and without, additional kind of modulation and effects from filtration. So one of the things I'm trying to do is take more close-up shots. Whenever we do videos like this, I feel like I always want to use a long lens and be far from a subject. But high-res film like this, I feel like some detail shots might be nice. I switched back to the 135 with an orange filter for this kind of scene under an underpass, metering at ISO 6, wide open at f4, and we're still at a 60th of a second. This construction scene right behind you is kind of interesting if I can get the framing that I want. So I photographed this hotel building a few times in the past, but never under construction and never with this film. So I'm trying to tightly frame the scene behind me where it's kind of more like closer to zone 5, where I don't have any high contrast pieces in the scene. And I'm at f2.8, 125th of a second. We'll probably go to f4 and a 60th, where this lens is about the sharpest, and see how it looks. The last major scene I want to get here is of this kind of classic shot of this railroad bridge tunnel straight across the road here. Probably switch to the 135 to have nice compression for that. All right, and we're back into the lovely, beautiful, high contrast Ventura light. I'm going to switch back to the 135 lens for the last couple frames here of this bridge. Try and shoot it at a distance and give it a nice bit of compression and see how it looks. Guess I have one frame left. And I think I'm starting to get a sunburn, so we're gonna wrap this up. But yeah, the singular light post, I like that. That'll work. 125 at f8. Take it. Don't really trust that, so we're gonna do half stop between f8. So I think it's lying to me. There it is. Cool. All right, so I finally finished shooting 2 rolls of Adox CMS 20 film, and shooting a 12 to 20 ISO black and white film in kind of variable spring lighting conditions has been challenging. So here a couple weeks later, finally finished the second roll, and now I'm gonna move on to developing the film. This is a super technical film, kind of like we talked about while shooting it. And developing it is also on the trickier side of things. So you're supposed to use Adox, well, they make a proprietary developer called Adox 4. You really are supposed to use this specific developer with this film. It's also critical that you use the correct dilution, the correct temperature, and the correct time. This is fairly temperamental, so you have to make sure all those variables are really dialed in. So our goal here is to use the correct developer and the correct dilution and the correct time, and really, along with the correct temperature, really to make sure we get nice balanced contrast, a nice broad tonal range, if at all possible. Whoa. That roll. That roll's cool. These are from the M3 with the spot meter. The M6 with the built-in center weighted average. Didn't like it as much. That's a cool roll. Now that we've shot and developed our film, it's time to scan. So for the negative supply portion of our film scanning setup, we have several components. We have our ProRiser Mark III copy stand, our flagship. And we have our 4x5 Light Source Pro. This is our 99 CRI model, though you could use the 97 or 99 in this case. And we have our Pro Film Carrier 35 Mark II, along with its adapter plate. For our camera and macro lens setup, today we have a Sony a7R V with the Sigma 105mm art macro. So that's on the hardware side of things, but for software, we're actually using Capture One's new feature, their negative film conversion. So not only are we going to be using Capture One for negative film conversion, we're actually tethering in the same program. So if this is your first time seeing the Pro Film Carrier 35 being used or seeing a negative supply setup, it's very quick and easy to use. So we're just going to take our roll or strip of film, in this case it's a roll, I'm going to feed it into the side here, emulsion side down. And then we're just going to come right up to that first frame, make sure everything's lined up. And of course, depending on how long the leader is, the rollers will engage sometimes earlier than others. You need a little bit of a leader. So if you're scanning a roll or a strip, it's safe to say the rollers engage by frame 3. Sometimes they do engage a little earlier. So I'm just going to use the rollers here to fine tune and line up that first frame. And now we're ready to start capturing and converting. So with this film scanning setup, you can scan an uncut roll of 35mm film in about 90 seconds. So that's actually capturing the images. Converting them is pretty quick and easy as well with Capture One. And I think this is really critical because a lot of people compare this to what they'll say, how does this compare to a scanner or a flatbed scanner? The bottom line is it absolutely smokes it in terms of resolution, speed, dust management, etc. If you get the opportunity to shoot Adox CMS 20 Mark II for yourself, I strongly recommend giving this film a try. It's incredibly high resolution, really broad dynamic range. It is a little tricky to expose and tricky still to develop, but you can get truly unique results with this film that is quite comparable to something like Legacy Kodak Tecpan 25. So I'd strongly encourage you to give this film a try if you get the chance. Last but not least, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, if you have questions about negative supply film scanning hardware, you know who to ask. We're always around. We would love to answer your questions for you, both about the hardware and the software. So any part of this workflow, we're more than happy to be a resource to you. So thanks so much for tuning in, and as always, until next time, shoot some film.